Well, and here we go again. And what do we call this? We call this Here Comes the Boom. And we got a guest that's going to be joining us here just a few minutes' time while we get rid of all of the playing, if you will. We got Come On Eileen on the radio feed. This is the video feed. And yeah, let's see where it goes. Well, we've got a guest joining us shortly. Responsible for feeding us curry. I'm just saying it's been a but Red Dog is still around. He is occupied at the moment. But for us, I cannot wait. I'm going to message off our next guest, and hopefully they can join us right away. There we go. I can't talk and do the thumb texting all in one shot. But yeah, Pat King was very interesting. It actually caused me to do a lot of reflecting just on our adventures in the last couple of months since we started building this set of tools. And it goes without saying that the shock of deception is hurtful. So we will endeavor to clear out some of the riffraff that, and it's hard to say because the people that I'm considering to be riffraff or considering that they may have ulterior motives is very painful. We've been doing business or working together or working around for a lot of weeks and years in some cases, and the surprise that this might be a possibility is it's very disconcerting. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we got a guest coming in here shortly, and they should. What am I going to do? Oh, maybe they're having a problem with the invite, so we'll do another invite guest, and get them maybe the right tools they need. But for you guys who are just, walking through the process, what do you think? Have you decided that you're going to join the conversation? Are you going to, do you feel like we have a purpose that you're needed to be sharing to your friends? Because that's what we need to do. We need to get this not just to everybody here in your immediate circles, but we need to get it across the province, because much like we've been speaking all broadcast, but also yesterday or in the conversation with Pat, it's going to be a group effort, and we've got to do this. We've got to do this. Now I'm going to go back to play that video we had earlier with from the Alberta Next Town. Apparently, there's another one going on this evening that we're going to grab some of the information from the recording that comes in, and we'll have that for you possibly for tomorrow. But doesn't it bother you? Doesn't it? This is Alberta tax dollars that are going in to pay for this, and it just doesn't seem right. Anyways, here's the video that is most started off this.
It's kind of disgusting that you guys are blaming immigrants directly in a video for the problem.
Get lost. Nobody did that. Nobody did that.
It did. It was in the video and we all saw it.
Yeah.
So I think that's disgusting. The problem is private developers. We need more public housing that serves the people and not private interests.
Oh.
I think it's kind of disgusting that you guys are blaming immigrants directly in a video for the problem.
Get lost. Nobody did that. Nobody did that.
It did. It was in the video and we all saw it.
Yeah.
So I think that's disgusting. The problem is private developers. We need more public housing that serves the people and not private interests.
Oh.
Isn't that bothersome? Just how callous and reprehensible. This is a government paid employee. Now we got Stacy coming in. We want to say hello when she actually joins the show, but she's the one responsible for the curry that came into this particular building, but she's hiding at the moment. And of course, Red is joining the show in progress. He was having a nap earlier.
I was not having a nap.
Why would you tell fibs? This is an honesty thing.
I was not having a nap, you lying bastard. Pardon my French.
You had your feet up. I heard the snoring coming from the other door. And then after I start talking on air, you splash some water in your face and you come in here like 5 minutes into the show. Oh, you know what? Let's just bring Stacy in and say,
right, let's see. Hi, Stacy.
well, hello, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How goes the world? It's going good from us. The shock of Pat's exposure to the system and how they're working it is most concerning.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is. It's been, it sounds like he's been on the same journey that I've been on in terms of trying to figure out who's trustworthy and who's not, and who is actually for leading us down a different path than what I think majority of citizens would want. That's pretty wild. You shake your head when you realize that, you know, these people are doing this and it's their job to make sure that unity across this nation doesn't happen. So
That's right. 100%.
so first things first. One of the bits of information I just shared was a portion of that video of the Alberta Next panel. What did you think of it?
If they're looking to trigger people, succeed. They did what they wanted. I've seen both perspectives. So I saw, you know, the perspective. I saw a video from the student that spoke. And, when you have a crowd kind of cheering for you and backing you up, like it kind of motivates you and gets your blood pumping, and you feel supported. So I can, his second part of the question, he was definitely getting wrapped up. But when I think about the job of that moderator, there's so many emotions that I felt. It's almost like I have PTSD from and listening to him, because from being in the corporate world before, and you have certain leaders that still put themselves on pedestals. They pretend that they're just the same people and we're all working together. No, they look down their nose at you because they're in the C-suite, they're a leader, and then they look down to you and they gaslight you. You have genuine concern and comments that you want to get addressed. Now, I do understand the role of a moderator is to keep the conversation flowing, make sure that the meeting's respectful. And so that is that moderator's job, but the way that he handled it was completely disgusting.
Yeah.
You don't insinuate to put that his parents should put him over their knee. Who does that? And
Unbelievable.
you know what? That in itself, it is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And it's hypocritical too, because we've got, these government officials that are supposed to be leaders, mentors, whatever. And we want kids to be involved in democracy. Sadly, it actually doesn't exist here, but that's my opinion. But we want kids to actually understand the process. And especially if they're in high school, what a perfect age for them to come and witness how this starts working. But, maybe that kid wasn't from the right family, and so he's not going to actually be needed in politics. And so like, who is he to come and, offer
Well, the
his
kids,
opinion
the
or
kids just,
offer opinion that is out of scope, even though it's kind of a major deal. Like if these leaders that are on this panel that are supposed to be for the community can't be agile enough to actually shift and be able to address a topic that is concerning a student right there, like shame on them. That's not leadership. That is just trained monkeys that are basically sticking to a script.
well, that guy was brought up in a household probably where the kids are meant to be seen and not heard. And he should be removed from his position at whatever he does, eliminated.
Absolutely.
And the kids got the kids got to witness. Basically, they got told, sit down and shut up. That's all the kids in Alberta getting that message.
Yep.
So the next kid that comes in
Behave.
that's 17 or 18 or 20 years old is not going to want to come in.
No. But like there is something to be said for respect. And if he was being completely disrespectful, by all means. And we do have kids that are sadly growing up in a world right now where they're being raised to be activists, right? So there's a delicate line that we've got to try and refine where
But
respect
to
is.
cut him
And
out right as he's going to his question,
yeah,
his preamble was so short and understandable
super
from
short.
many Albertans. So
Yep.
my question is, why did the Alberta government spend $4 and they cut him? I don't
Because
understand.
that's so there. So I've been looking at some of the fallout from all of it, and the interesting there people are trying to defend Foster and say, he's got a job to do, and it's only the questions that are based on what the panel is talking about. And I get that. I understand. I don't agree with it. But you do, when you have that many people, you got to try and keep some semblance of order, right? But the way that he managed that was completely disgusting. And that is not leadership. Like,
Wow.
that is embarrassing and
That's right.
demeaning and the perfect example of gaslighting. So that student and everyone in that audience will feel lesser. And especially if they're not confident people, they're not going to go and stand in that hot spot and ask that question. They've just
That's
shut
right.
down a whole bunch of people that had something very valuable to say.
Well,
It's
I mean,
gross.
considering that at least the conversations that the Alberta Next panel are trying to promote and are hoping for success include the Alberta Pension Plan with our AIMCO friends in charge of it, or the Alberta Police Force that it's just same horse with the stripes on it they don't want to call a zebra.
Yeah.
And that's their big thing.
Yeah. I have to say I've watched 3 of the panels now. And I saw that they're doing one actually right now as we speak. And I have no desire to go and listen to any more of those panels. It's just the same. People are trying to ask questions, and other adults too. Like if it's not of topic, they're scared. It's all fluff. It's like watching the legislature attack show where they're all just fighting and nothing comes out of it, and they
your
get
connection's
paid
cutting in and out
to do that. It's disgusting. Like, are we back on there? Yeah.
Your connection's
One of
cutting
the
in
things
and
that
out.
I'd like to share too is that okay, this is actually the norm, though, that is being what we witnessed with that next panel is actually how our councils and our municipalities even some of the different associations like that people volunteer on. This is the direction that it's going. Shut up. You get a certain amount of time, and if we know what you are coming here to talk about, we're going to figure out ways to cut you. Now, I see that I'm the only person on the screen, so I'm not sure if we're still going live. You guys have left
Made you
the
bigger.
studio, but
We made you bigger.
oh, cool. But this I just want to share a story that happened to me. I live out in a rural community, and when I moved out here, I noticed that the bylaws were changing, and I wanted to understand what the difference was. So I sat down and I read the old bylaw, and then I read the new bylaw. I highlighted all of the different changes, and then the pieces that could impact me, and some of the pieces that and not just me, but even my neighbors and friends. And then I wrote, and then I also highlighted the stuff that the language was very confusing in terms of what they actually meant, and it could be very gray and lead us into a lot of confusion anyway. But this is where I am with the Alberta Stewardship Act. So I brought this to council. I had 70 farmers that attended this meeting with me. And when I asked for the time at the meeting before they passed some new legislation to present all of this. And when the Reeve said, you know, oh, with all these people, you can now only have 2 minutes, where I pre-sent my whole presentation. They had told me I had 10 minutes to present. He said, you know, we're going to only give you 2 minutes because of all these people. The crowd got upset and said, no, this is ridiculous. And a couple guys stood up and said, we give Stacey our 2 minutes to speak for us. She's already shown us this, and we are aligned and we have the same questions. And I said, no. So I'm like, where the frick do we live? It's crazy. So this is the norm. If you bring something forward that they want to address, or they don't want to address, or they don't know how to address, or they deem it a conspiracy theory because they're not really ready to have the conversation with the public yet. They just want to do this little slow drip effect until it's all implemented and nobody understood and it's all in place. And I think that's what's happening. That's just wrong. So yeah, that's this is the norm. Just shut people down. That's not okay. Gentlemen, if you are speaking, I cannot hear you.
The stage. So let's try this. Does this work any better?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
The technology. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
I set you up when you came into the interview about the Alberta Next panel. But you've been working on some interesting projects behind the scenes lately. You feel like giving us our listening audience, a little teaser of what's exciting in the world of you?
Oh my gosh. Like in terms of research topics that I'm researching everything, Kirk. No,
you can pick
you know that
something. How do I say this?
deep into stuff. Well, you know what? Here, why don't we do this? For those of you who don't know, my name is Stacey Beulah. I'm from Alberta, born and raised. Grew up in Wetaskiwin, raised my family in Edmonton. I went to NAIT, and I have worked at a variety of different big corporations. and dabbled in real estate investing, all that kind of stuff. I why I'm here today with Kirk and Red Dog is because of what happened in 2020. I am not an extremist. I have never really paid attention to politics until it impacted me. And when it impacted me was because of choice that I made because I was not comfortable taking an injection that I felt was rushed. And I am a mom, and I didn't feel comfortable putting myself at risk. I wasn't being, disrespectful, and I didn't know what was going on at the beginning. So I followed the rules like everybody else, was a little bit scared of what was happening. But then I started pay attention to detail, and I, for some reason, can pick up patterns and see, different things or floundering kind of narratives, I guess you could say. But I also saw extreme unity, and in terms of messaging that was coming out from certain platforms, but it didn't make logical sense. A lot of it was like, how does this make any sense? I'm literally at the grocery store, and you've got all this glass everywhere, but you need me to step around on the side to give you my cash. It just, there were so many things. And that's just like the smallest example. But there was a lot of things that it just didn't make sense to me. You can't go, to certain areas where you're outdoors and you're not supposed to be all together. Like it was so stupid. And I know that it made a lot of people afraid. And of course, because I've never seen a fear machine like that pumped up ever. But it really had my intuition and my spidey senses going. And so, fast forward, I really started paying attention to things. And I started paying attention to, okay, well, why is the government doing this? Well, who's making stuff? Well, who are these political people that are investing in this stuff? And wow, they did it beforehand. How did they know? So, and you would kind of voice these things to people, and they'd be like, oh, that's conspiracy theory. And it's like, well, it's like literally right here. You can see the paper trail. You can see narratives being built up beforehand. But unless you have the time to look for it, which they try and keep us all busy and working our butts off to be able to afford to live. So you don't have time to care about this stuff. You're running your kids here and there, you're getting groceries, you're trying to clean your house, you're living, right? And you're trusting the political system to be those gatekeepers, to be those guardians, to keep us healthy and safe. And that's what I always thought that their role was. And I've learned now that I was really naive, and I feel very negligent about that because that means I played a part in enabling all of this shitstorm to basically happen. Because if citizens paid more attention and, you know, went to their community meetings, went to all of the council meetings, and if the council meetings are open to the public, which they're closing off lately, but that's a whole other thing. But if you cared more and just spent a little bit of time paying attention to this, you see this whole other world and this whole other way in which this world that we live in, this Canada, where everyone tells us we're so nice, we're so nice. We've been bred to be nice. We have been bred to shut up, be a good girl, don't rock the boat, don't question, and just keep on going. And so that's where I started digging into a whole bunch of different things. I ended up leaving my job because I felt like morally conflicted about supporting industries that were responsible for taking all of the citizens who live in this country, taking our money through taxation, the carbon tax. And it's wrong. If I wanted to go and start a business because I wanted to do a capital expansion, I have to get money for that. So therefore, get a loan or whatever, or you run a successful business and you've got a whole bunch of profit, then you have to put some money into that. And your little fat shareholders don't get as big of a paycheck that year. That's how you're supposed to run business, isn't it? But that's not how business is actually run here. So they steal from us, and I do see it as theft. They make us afraid. And then they implement these taxation to steal our money so that we need both parents working versus and letting some daycare train them to be in the future. So
Women's lib.
there's so many things, but when you start researching it, it is all there. All you have to do is some research. You have to just do a little bit of don't I watch a variety. I watch Global once in a while. I watch CBC once in a while. I watch Apache Television Network. Sometimes I watch a bunch of different YouTube channels. I watch some CNN, but I'm watching them to get like an understanding of all of the narratives that are playing out and trying to put all of the different pieces together, seeing the similarities and seeing if there's some, differences going on. But this took me on a big research journey of trying to figure out what is going on and is there any hope? Because we all know everybody, like people are losing their jobs, cost of living is going up, and I am so freaking sick of hearing inflation as the excuse. It is not inflation, it's freaking theft because monopoly laws are not being enforced or regulated. Fixing is not being investigated.
Nope.
And having an impact on these big companies is just a way of cost of doing business because our watchdogs are not doing their freaking they've been given a big fat bone and that's they're eating their bone while everybody gets raped and pillaged and it's not okay.
You're preaching my language, baby.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
and it's more because we can get into some really great details, but not at this minute. But for what you're seeing, what's it going to take to get things back on track?
So that's the that's $1 million question, right?
Yep.
And honestly, like if say you had the ability and without anything getting away and without, being afraid that someone's gonna off you or hurt your family or steal your money or whatever to shut up, like that could keep happening and is real. I would want a transparent and not just bullshit transparency. I would want a transparent government system that accounts for every single dollar.
100%.
Every single dollar. I know that there's some people out there that are like anarchists, and I'm not that person. I do feel that well, I've seen, and I feel that there is a role for government in terms of trying to keep all of our infrastructure organized and operating, and there is a role for government. There is because we do need groups that can make sure that the medical system's running efficiently. We can make that is making sure the healthcare or the school system's running efficiently. But we have actually what Pat was saying there in terms of the infiltrators and all of the people that are in these particular roles. We need to vet them a hell of a lot better. So
Yep.
we need to understand, what is your political affiliation? Where, I believe right now, like you don't have to disclose that if you're running for a certain position, but council or whatever, or mayor, I think that we need to do a deep dive into who are these people. And if they have affiliations with terrorist organizations, then no, I'm sorry, you're not going to get the keys to the castle. But again, right now we're in weird times. So I wish that we had honest reporting if something is deemed a terrorist organization, because there are good organizations that are being deemed terrorist organizations. It's like this inverted world. So
Yeah.
um, we, in terms of what people that have a vested interest. So whether it be like it's community people that are that live in that community, and I think that is actually built into when people run for elections. They actually have to live in their area. But
Well,
I
they
think
should
there
for
should be
sure.
like you need to live in there like 80% of the time. You can't be gone half the year, right? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Agreed.
so I think like people that care about their community, accountability of every single dollar, and I mean every single dollar. The amount of money that's going to all of the reservations, that needs to be looked at. And is it helping? Is it efficient? And that's a whole messy subject. I know. Uh, how much money is going to pay for the UN and all of their war efforts all over? Because I don't call peacekeeping efforts, I call them war efforts. And where is that money being spent, and what is the outcome of that? Are we a war machine? I don't think we want to be a war machine. So why are we funding equipment and and things like that out of Canadian taxpayers' dollars? So like we need actual transparency. Then we need because people get corrupted, we need secondary and we've got tools that are coming out now with AI that can help us with this, which I'm not a huge AI lover, but I think there is a place for it, because I don't want all humans replaced until we have a really good plan for all of us, because I don't want to live in a freaking virtual world, virtual reality, sitting in my house peeing in my
Huh.
adult diapers. No thanks. But I we need like stand up people that have morals and that care about the community and have like this common. The sad thing is that religion is coming into the mix, and Canada was built on obviously like a Judeo-Christian kind of background with all of the people that came here, but there's a whole bunch of different religions that are here. Now, as long as you don't want to kill any of us, part of your mandate, or to hurt other people, we should have a religious freedom, but it shouldn't be infiltrating all of the schools. Math is math.
Agreed.
It shouldn't be, foundation on that, because we all are trying to be cohesive, and we were doing a pretty damn good job of it until this orchestrated destruction in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Go and go pray where you want to be, and as long as you're doing it peacefully, who cares?
Yeah,
Like,
not in the middle of the street in
but
downtown Toronto.
no, like that. Come on,
Unacceptable.
that's not prayer. That's showing strength, right? And it's trying to get us triggered.
Yep.
So, like, just like what Pat said, so that stupid things happen because they want to bring in that martial law. They want us to all be afraid of each other. So, but like we see what's happening because we've been following the UK,
Yep.
and this is exactly like lockstep.
That's
They are
right.
rolling this out in different countries at different times. And if you watch it, you can see what worked and what didn't work. And that's exactly what they're doing. We are at war right now.
Yep.
We are.
World War III.
I'm
So,
not sure exactly what the percentages are, and I know the UK is bad, but Brussels is over 70% immigrant. They've lost all of their culture and identity
Just
in
go.
in their city.
wow.
Like
It's,
70% of the population are immigrants who are treating the country
Like it's theirs.
like the country they just left.
right. The part that infuriates me when the topic of immigration comes up is that I'm not against immigration. I'm not.
No,
And I know that you aren't either. We've talked about it. I'm not against immigration. What I'm really frustrated about, and I know that what's happening right now with the UN is that it's basically forced philanthropy. So by bringing forth all of the people from a variety of different countries and having us pay for it all, it's essentially like, they take up our taxation and they, um, you know, build all of this infrastructure, and all these businesses are getting kickbacks to, give them cars or gift cards or whatever. Um, it's basically forced philanthropy because they feel that we can all afford it. And I feel like, the blanket approach that our government is taking, generalizing it that everybody can afford it because Canada is so rich.
Mhm.
Like the people that are making these decisions are making, 300,000 plus. They're so out of touch with what the average person pays at the grocery store or for utilities on their house. They don't get, they're not paying gas because their companies that they work for, or the government's paying for it for them. So they
Uh-huh.
don't understand like the pain that it's putting on the local people. And then they tried to do the whole hide the weenie thing where they didn't want to talk about it. Like I went to the round table with Mike Lake, and I've asked time and time again, hey, there's money going to pay for all the immigrants that are coming in. I understand that it's like $2,500 from the UN. The government of Canada is kicking out. No, that's a conspiracy theory. Where'd you hear that? And this
Huh.
is my federal key lying to my face.
Wow.
So this is where we're at. If you can't admit the program that you're doing and implementing on us, of course we're going to get pissed off. Of course we're going to feel like we're being lied to, because we are being lied to. They're not
Yep.
laying it out. And then I have empathy. Like I do, like, because I'm a nerd and I love studying numbers and stuff. We need people. We're not having enough kids. So and with the baby boomers and older that will be passing, we don't have enough people to replace and keep this country going. So we actually do need people to keep it
We can't
going.
survive at this
So
rate.
we can't. And that's, as a mom, if I wanted to have more, I had 2 kids because that's all I could afford. That's what I responsibly knew I could take care of and put through school, because us tax-paying working citizens of Canada that aren't Indigenous, or I guess now an immigrant, we have to pay for our kids to go to school. We don't get a whole bunch like free kind of things unless you're on welfare. So I had 2 kids because that's what I could afford. If I would have loved to have more, but I'm not going to have more kids and have a daycare raise them. And so I didn't have more children. But then you see all of these people that are on taxpayer dollars, government dollars, which is taxpayer dollars, that are having like freaking 4, 5, 6, 8 kids. Who's going to pay for that forever? I guess maybe eventually they'll have jobs, but if they're all getting replaced by AI soon, like, which nobody's talking about, then what? Like, what
I
becomes of this place, right?
It's going
So
to
it's
turn into a
frustrating.
third.
I would have had more kids if it wasn't so expensive to live here. And there's no reason for it to be so expensive to be here. We should be freaking flush with cash, with the resources that are here. But we have allowed
Parasites.
corruption and greed and like it to just destroy this country. And people have been taught to shut up and be good and pay him 150,000 for working on an oil field and or 100 being a teacher and have half the year off and
But be quiet.
just shut up. Yeah. Where all of these executives that are implementing all these changes are getting paid massive dollars, millions of dollars, which could fund tons of new teachers to be hired.
Mhm.
Like it's just like everything's broken. Like so in
Well,
terms
we're
of fixing
hoping
it,
that
there is no silver bullet. It's everything needs to be reviewed and everything needs to get, hey, that's your uncle and he's got all of that because you passed that law. All of that shit needs to get exposed.
That's right. All of it.
well, that's what our intent is as part of this media release is to get the community involved in sharing and consuming the information as deep as we can get it. We've got to cut to a break here in just a couple minutes. Do you have any closing comments on what the public should be looking for today, tomorrow, in the near future that's most concerning?
Well, everything's concerning. It's meant to be like that right now.
She's right. You're right.
It's death by 1,000 cuts so that we're overwhelmed and then we go into our little turtle shell, right? My largest concern is something called policy horizon. Policy horizon is the biodigital convergence. It's on the federal government's website, and I'm happy to join you guys after and I can show you, but it's literally on the federal government's website.
Okay.
What digital convergence is basically nanotechnology and gene editing technology to modify us. It makes us
Okay.
trackable, traceable beings.
I would really like Stacy to have you on.
I'll come back at 9,
You can either what I'd like to do is I'd like to come back
3 in the morning. We're
3 in
just
the morning.
falling
Yeah,
asleep.
if you could come in,
We're falling asleep.
just
You wake
bring
up to
it
go
up.
pee, jump on the radio for an hour.
But I'd like to have you come back on the air to actually go through more details at a later time.
I would like that too. Do you what time? Like are you good to go at
Right.
8 again after your break?
At 8:00, yeah, let's do that.
No. Melanie's not coming in at 8.
Okay, so we got somebody in for 8. How about 9? Is that past your bedtime?
Okay. Well, yeah, of course, but that's fine. This is important stuff.
She lies
So-
like a rug. Thanks, baby.
Stacy, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again at 9:00, just after.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yep, you're welcome, darling.
Well,
She's awesome.
even with her delays,
I don't like the delays. What's going on there?
her internet connection.
Oh, okay. She's in the bush.
Yep. It's these people who have, because I saw it. They've got the 5G,
5G?
5G, just outside her door, like it's there.
Yeah.
Not saying a word. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes at the top of the hour. And who do we have coming in?
Melanie Schweitzer,
All right.
I believe. Let's make sure. I'll double check.
All right. Well, we will have somebody.
She's going to come in and talk about live and dry blood analysis and some healthy stuff.
What?
Yeah, some healthy stuff.
Meat and
Just
potatoes.
like the salad you were supposed to eat.
Yeah, bro, get right on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kirk.
And I'm Red Dog.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.